Hey guys, it's Christmas and I finally wanted to show you guys my collection. I finally got everything I'm gonna get for the year, so it's time for a collection tour. I hope you're ready to find out. And no, I am not a Raiders fan, but I'm a Jets fan. So I have this Devontae Adams jersey that I got for $50 from the Raiders. But support the player, not the team. Will probably be my playoff jersey. Okay, so I wanted to start my collection tour with my smallest shelf. It is my DC and Marvel miniseries and event shelf. And to start the shelf, on the very top, we have Johnny Blaze Ghost Rider and the Cosmic Ghost Rider. When we go down the shelf, you can see my Star Wars Black series that I have. A lot of them are, well, I'm a big prequel fan, so I got Obi-Wan and Mace Windu, but I also got some of the crew from the original trilogy, and yeah, so, but when we go down a shelf, this is where we start getting into the comics. So in this shelf, we got some books that were bought from a Dollarama of all place. These 4 books right here, I found them all at a Dollarama for like $5 each, so that's great. I haven't read them. Don't really care to. Might try and sell those, but not expecting much from them. But as you can see, we got Batman: The Curse of the White Knight. I still need to read the sequel to that one, which I have on Kindle. I have that in my library. I'm gonna find a point to read it sometime. Then we got Deceased by Tom Taylor, which is an amazing Halloween book, and it's a really good zombie book for anyone looking for something like that. And then, look, one of the best books I read last year was at the end of the year, Kingdom Come by Mark Waid and Alex Ross. What beautiful art. And it's nice because you can tell that the logo James Gunn is using for his Superman movie is based on the Kingdom Come logo, minus the fact that he has yellow in his and not black. But then we get to some of the event books like Infinite Crisis and Final Crisis, as well as Batman Battle for the Cowl, which happens after Final Crisis, Titans Hunt, it leads into one of my favorite characters returning to DC, Dark Knight's Metal, which is a fun event by Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo. I really love Greg Capullo's art. This is not Heroes in Crisis, but it is The Price, which it's a crossover between Flash and Batman, the second one in the DC Rebirth era. Challenger the Super Sons, so you can probably assume what Super Sons omnibus I have. Flash Forward, which is a great Wally West book. It's the first dedicated to Wally West book without the Teen Titans in it in the new era. Dark Knight's Death Metal. This has a bunch of the tie-ins. I mostly got it for Speed Metal because it's the end of the Flash run. Batman Urban Legends, I wanted to try reading Chip Zdarsky's Batman, so I got that when that came out. Then Three Jokers, Batman Who Laughs, Batman vs. Robin, which unfortunately you need to get Lazarus Planet to enjoy the whole experience, so I only got to enjoy half the experience, but still a decent book. Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths, I really like that book. I know some people have complained about it, but I really enjoy it. And the Jurassic League, I love that. Teen Titans Earth 1, don't really care, but I like Jeff Lemire, and that's one of the Dollarama books. Then we go another shelf down below, and this is a bunch of my Marvel stuff, so you can see stuff like Carnage USA, Absolute Carnage, Extreme Carnage, Carnage Reigns. There's Daredevil Yellow, which is a book that I'm considering getting in gallery edition. There's also Daredevil Redemption, which is not a story that many people talk about. However, I do think that it will end up being collected in the new modern epic collections for people who haven't read that story. I find it to be a really good story. It's a very sad story about the death penalty, and what a beautiful book. Daredevil Dark Knights, which would be probably in later modern epic collections around the time of Mark Waid's run. Then Man Without Fear, Death of Daredevil. That is by Jed MacKay, so I wouldn't mind Jed MacKay writing Daredevil, honestly. That'd be quite sick. And then we got some Spider-Man books in there. This book I mostly have because it has
a couple issues that Marvel considered to be a part of the legacy numbering for Venom, so I needed it. Amazing Spider-Man, Venom Inc., that's another book with Venom books, Sinister War, then we got some of those Venom events from Venomverse all the way to Death of Venomverse, and obviously we got that amazing King in Black in there. The Death of Wolverine, Return of Wolverine. Then we got our other Marvel events like Infinity Gauntlet, Civil War, Secret Wars, House of X, Devil's Reign, Blood Hunt, and then these books in the corner are more Dollarama books, but I would consider reading them. Yep, so that's cool.
The top shelf of my omnibuses. So here are my omnis, and let me just begin with, these books are great. I love Avengers by Hickman. I know some people find it confusing, but I think it's great, especially because I read the reprints of Fantastic Four the year before, so I got to read this right after, and I had Secret Wars come right after I read those. Savage Avengers is such a good book that I enjoyed dearly. Captain America White, that was another Dollarama book that I picked up. I haven't read it, but probably will one day. Then we got the 3 Ed Brubaker volumes minus Winter Soldier and the Death of Captain America omnibus, but that's okay because you will see later that I do have those collected. And then we get to my favorite part of the collection, of probably my whole collection, which would be my Daredevil stuff. Most of Daredevil in hardcover if it's modern. So I got this Marvel Knights book still bothers me. I wish it could have been called Daredevil Marvel Knights or Marvel Knights Daredevil or Daredevil by Joe Quesada, something like that. Because this has, this begins the Marvel Knights era for Daredevil, which leads into Bendis and then Brubaker, and you can see I got the reprint of Volume 1, but I had Volume 2. Oops, knocked Daredevil over. One of my first omnibuses, or these are my 2 first omnibuses. Like I said, I'm a really big Daredevil fan. Then I got the OHCs for Daredevil by Mark Waid, all 5 of those. And we got the Black Armored Daredevil Marvel Legend, as well as the 2 Chip Zdarsky Marvel Legends for Daredevil. And as you can see, Charles Soule Daredevil behind Daredevil. And then we got the Chip Zdarsky run in the OHCs. I am Marvel, still waiting for my Volume 5, because I don't want to have to buy those omnibuses after already buying it in hardcover once. Then another amazing run, Fantastic Four by Jonathan Hickman, as well as Fantastic Four Fate of the Four, which is a Chip Zdarsky book. And I like my Chip Zdarsky stuff. Guardians by Abnett and Landing. Don't really feel like getting the whole War of Kings omnibus set, because I really only cared about the Guardians stuff from that. However, I don't know if Nova plays a major role in that, but I do really like Nova as well. The Guardians by Donny Cates. Got some Moon Knight. I'm missing the Mark Spector Moon Knight omnibuses. Maybe I'll pick those up someday, but currently not in the budget and not really interested. Moon Knight by Houston. Bendis. And then this was originally my favorite Moon Knight run. However, I think it may have been dethroned by Jed MacKay. Anyway, continuing, we got Modern Daredevil or Daredevil Back in Black and Punisher War Machine with Punisher Back to War omnibus, which is his first appearances and all that. But you'll see I have his first appearance in another book as well. Then Punisher Frankencastle. That's a good Halloween book. Kind of like Creature Commandos. Pretty good book. I do enjoy that, I'm going to be honest. And then coming over to the shelf below this, yeah, so I have my books going like that, and then I got a shelf below. So anyway, the shelf below, we got some amazing books, you might say, like Amazing Spider-Man Volume 4 Omnibus. I got that and none of the other ones, mostly because it has the death of Gwen Stacy in it. and it has the Punisher first appearance, but I got that after the Punisher Back to the War bus, so, you know, my bad, but whatever. And then after, I got Kraven's Last Hunt, which I found at a fan expo for a decent price, so I picked that up, and I've only heard good things, and, well, I read it, and I enjoyed it as well. Only the first volume of Amazing Spider-Man by J.M.S. However, I didn't read the final story in this book, and I refuse to, so I might honestly never get volume 2, because I really enjoy this volume, and I don't want to get it, or have it ruined by continuing. But then we have one of my favorite books, Superior Spider-Man. Love that book so much. What a great book. Probably won't get volume 2 though, but that's okay. Then we come into my Ultimate Spider-Man books, which I love so much. It reminds me of the Spectacular Spider-Man TV show, or maybe that's what that was based on. Don't know if it was the chicken or the egg. However, I love this series, and I still need volume 4, and I will not jump on that Death of Spider-Man. I'm going to wait for a volume 5. And it leads into Miles Morales, the Ultimate Spider-Man. As you can tell, I do not have those new copies, but that's fine. Then Thanos by Donny Cates, which has the Cosmic Ghost Rider in it as well. Spider-Man vs. Venom. I keep this with my Venom omnibuses because it's pretty much a prelude. And it has a bunch of the it says Spider-Man versus Venom. It's some of my favorite stories of Venom. Because then you move on into some of my least favorite stories in Venom, which are collected in these Venomnibuses. This book I dread and do not enjoy, but it was still a fun read because I had a mission to collect all Venom, and I have it all up to date, and I'm pretty happy about that. But this one has Venom Lethal Protector in it, and that's an awesome story. So I do enjoy this one, but I don't enjoy this one. And then the third one's over here, and I'll be honest, I don't really enjoy that one either too much, but there's some Spider-Man collected in it, so that's nice. I like this. I think it's the Spectacular Spider-Man run where Venom shows up with Humberto Ramos drawing it, but can't remember. Then I got my Donny Cates hardcovers, and then my Wolverine omnibuses, which I love a lot, like my Daredevil ones and my Ultimate Spider-Man ones, because I think it's so cool that we have so many of these omnibuses. Still haven't got volume 5, probably won't get the Mark Millar omnibus, and will not get the reprint of Wolverine by Jason Aaron volume 1. I'm reading that currently in Kindle. Right now, of all these omnibuses, I really enjoyed all of them, but this one I enjoyed probably the most, besides this one, because this one has some of my favorite Wolverine stories. But then you move over and get into more modern stuff. So we got Wolverine Goes to Hell by Jason Aaron. That's a good story. With Wolverine and the X-Men by Jason Aaron, which is my favorite Jason Aaron stuff I've ever read. New X-Men by Grant Morrison. And then my favorite Marvel omnibus that I own, Uncanny X-Force. I got the second reprint of that when that came out, and I got that for my birthday, I think in 2020. Oh yeah, and that's the other thing about this book. This book's the square bound Wolverine omnibus, but that's okay. Then we got 10 of Swords by Hickman event, and then 10 Lives of Wolverine and 10 Deaths hardcover, which I found at a Home Sense, which was crazy, and it was listed for $30 instead of the $94 cover price, so I jumped on that easily. And we got some X-Force members right in front of the X-Force book. All right, now we're gonna move into the DC books, and there's some good stuff down here too, but that's why I own it. So on this shelf we have Aquaman by Geoff Johns, which is an amazing book. I'm not going to talk about all of them because then I'll be here forever, but I just want to point out the ones that I enjoy, but I enjoy so many of them, so it's going to be hard. But Batman by Grant Morrison, which I love, and I have the Batman Reborn figure anyway, which I have by my Detective Comics 1000 figure by McFarlane. That's not a good figure, but I like that one a lot. This is my favorite DC omnibus right here, Batman and Robin. Made me cry. White Knight in deluxe edition. Too bad I didn't wait for Curse of the White Knight to come out in deluxe. Crisis on Infinite Earths. And then Dark Knight's Death Metal, which I love this book because of the chrome Or, yeah, the Chrome. I think that's so cool. Then some of my favorite stories of all time are collected in that Flash by Jeff Johns omnibus. And then we got my Jay Garrick figure. You will notice that I do not have a Barry Allen because I am a Wally guy. I love Wally so much. Some Flash by Joshua Williamson. I have it. I have the rest of it. Don't worry. One of my favorite series of all time, Green Lantern by Jeff Johns. It's a must-read for anybody who's into comics. I just reread it this year, and I love it so much. My Nightwing and Justice League, my Teen Titans collection. Currently, I'm finishing the new Teen Titans Volume 3, and I'm enjoying it a lot, I'll be honest. Then we got my McFarlane figures for Nightwing and Wally West. Then we go down another shelf, and we have some more great stories with All-Star Superman, which is an amazing book. Same with Rebirth Deluxe Editions by Tomasi. And look, so I got the Super Sons Expanded Edition Omnibus from 2020, and now they've got the new one, which collects Challenge of the Super Sons. Like I said, I have that in trade, but that's okay. Watchmen, which is a must for all people, honestly. What a great book. Wonder Woman Rebirth by Greg Rucka. I think that's going to be collected in the second omnibus. I don't know because I haven't read Greg Rucka's Wonder Woman, but I really want to. That omnibus is coming out, and I might snag that. There's a couple Superman omnibuses that I wanted to pick up as well. Big Hard Sex Criminals. Not a fan, to be honest. But I mostly bought it because of the chrome on the spine. You can get me very easy with chrome. Criminal, which is an amazing series. Killer Be Killed. And then the whole Reckless series, as well as two of his more recent OGNs. This book I love mostly because, well, it's a signed copy by Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips, and I love them as a duo, and it's quite clear with all these books. Then I move over another shelf, and we got all my Invincible OHCs. This is my favorite comic book series of all time, if not my favorite anything of all time. It's such an amazing story, and I can't wait for the people who are watching it in the show to see what's about to happen, because what an amazing series. Murder Falcon by Daniel Warren Johnson, what an amazing writer and artist. Star Wars by Jason Aaron omnibus. And some Transformers comics, as well as Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Last Ronin. And then a small collection of clones right there. Then we go down another shelf, and this is where you will see where I keep my absolutes and my bigger than oversized hardcovers, like Umbrella Academy, Rick and Morty, as well as this is where I keep some of my manga. I don't have much manga, but I love Blade of the Immortal. Still need to finish that. Got Demon Slayer behind Aragorn, and Death Note, the complete collection. And then moving over another shelf, we got some more giant books with my gallery edition of Daredevil Love and War, or Daredevil Elektra Love and War. Silver Surfer Black, which has amazing art. And then Low, as well as my long box. This was my first long box, and it has a bunch of my singles in it that I'm collecting. Not going to show you all those, but maybe I'll have another video talking about them. And then I come up to my next set of shelves, and I created a little Spider-Verse display with all the Spider-Man Marvel Legends I got. And then here's some of my movies and TV shows that I like, that I own. If you can tell, I only got the first 5 seasons of Game of Thrones in Blu-ray, so what's that say, you know what I'm saying? And then below that, we got some of my other things like Godfather, Blade Runner, Better Call Saul Season 6, because I couldn't wait for it to come to Netflix. Just watched this movie. Love that movie. John Wick, Watchmen. Oh, Godfather should be beside Godfather 2. Preacher number 4, which is another book I love. And
my favorite movie of all time, The Dark Knight, and then behind that, just also that's a copper plate that I etched of Tony Soprano. Love that, it's so sick. And then below I got a couple pops, but I'm not the biggest pop guy, so yeah. Anyway, here begins my trade paperback shelf. And to start this off, I got the Millennium Falcon in Lego from Force Awakens a long time ago, as well as some Marvel Legends of some of my favorite characters in Marvel. As you can see, I don't know how many of them you can see, but I do love these characters and I love these figures. Anyway, so we go down to where the actual shelf begins, and you can see the Punisher and Daredevil Marvel Legend from the shows. And like I said, the Captain America story that is collected by Ed Brubaker, I had the rest in trade. You can see some Avengers books, New Avengers, Dark Avengers, Savage Avengers. Then we get into my Daredevil collection, and that Daredevil masterwork is my first Daredevil comic collection I've ever gotten. And I got the second one as well, so I wouldn't have to double dip and buy the Epic collection. But then we get all of these amazing Epic collections. I love my Daredevil Epic collections because they help fill in my gap with all my Daredevil comics, because as you can tell, I'm trying to own it all. Like, although I have most Daredevil comics in OHC for Modern, there was only one way to get this collected by the Daredevil by Bob Gale, collected in the Echo Quest miniseries. You had to buy the Daredevil Usual Suspects Marvel Knights comic. Then we got the rest of Chip Zdarsky's run on Daredevil, collected in trade. What an amazing series. Doctor Doom by Cantwell and La Roca, I just got that for Christmas. Hulk stuff. Immortal Iron Fist by Fraction and Brubaker. Only needed the first volume because it's all Fraction wrote and Brubaker. I'm mostly a Brubaker fan. Extremis. Superior Iron Man by Tom Taylor, which was actually my very first graphic novel. That hardcover right there. Jessica Jones Alias. What an amazing series. Moon Knight by Ellis. Then Punisher War Journal. We get into my Punisher stuff, and it's the Marvel Knights Punisher stuff. So we got Taxi Wars and the complete collection by Ennis and Dillon, Volume 1. I had to make some room today, so the other volumes are just below with Volume 1 and 2. Then we got all of Garth Ennis's run in the complete collections. If they keep making these new Punisher Max books, like now they got Punisher Get Fury, or is it just called Get Fury? I want to get that book because that's another Punisher Max book by Ennis. Punisher by Rick Remender. Those are the first two volumes that go with the Frankencastle, Punisher War Machine, some Spider-Man Epic collections, Spider-Man No More I got because I wanted the first appearance of Kingpin, and then Venom and Assassination. Oh, that sounds like Assassination. That's a smart title. I just noticed that now. Wow. This is a quad graphics book, so you can tell it's a bit crappy. It's the same thing with this Daredevil Root of Evil book and that Jessica Jones Alias Volume 1. Those are all quad graphic books. Not a fan of that, but it's what I have them as, right? Then the Sinister 6 Marvel Premiere Edition. Spectacular Spider-Man by Zdarsky, Red Goblin, and then all of Nick Spencer's run in trade. I'm not a big fan of modern Spider-Man comics. I tried to get that Zeb Wells run in singles and dropped it after issue 21. Whatever issue he tells Mary Jane they're like sisters and brother, that's when I stopped. So, but I wanted to keep reading Spider-Man, so then I started collecting Miles Morales Spider-Man by Cody Ziegler. So that's what I consider modern Spider-Man now.
Might as well kill Peter Parker, honestly, or do something with him. Just get rid of him. Superior Spider-Man 1 and 2 by Dan Slott. That's a recent series that came out. Like I said, I love Superior Spider-Man, and I think it's great. Jeff Lemire's Thanos, what a great series that no one talks about. Thunderbolts, epic collection, loved it. Complete collections of Jason Aaron's Thor, Donny Cates' Thor, all collected in trade, and then some Immortal Thor. Immortal Thor is so good. That's my favorite Thor stuff so far. But if I had to pick a favorite Thor book, it's honestly going to be the first book from Donny Cates' run. It's so sick. He's Galactus's Herald. It's awesome. Venom by Rick Remender and Cullen Bunn. So that's the Agent Venom stuff. Space Knight. Mike Costa's run, which is right before Donny Cates. I got the Al Ewing stuff, but it's not on the shelf because it's in that Devil's Reign long box in singles. Some Wolverine stuff. This is the Mark Millar Wolverine stuff. So Enemy of the State and Old Man Logan. Wolverine by Percy 1 and 2. I have those, but not the rest because I started picking it up in singles, but realized it wasn't for me. I might, if it becomes an omnibus, I might get it. Same with X-Force because I picked that up in singles and I dropped that first. Some X-Men stuff, some important X-Men events. Phoenix Saga, Dark Phoenix. I meant Dark Phoenix and Futures Past, Mutant Massacre, Executioner Song. Astonishing X-Men by Joss Whedon. Best X-Men stuff I've ever read, besides Uncanny X-Force. The run before Hickman's X-Men, which is Uncanny X-Men, Wolverine, and Cyclops. I don't have the first bit of it because I only care about Wolverine and Cyclops. X-Men by Hickman, and then Fantastic Four X-Men by Chip Zdarsky, as well as the new Ultimate Universe. So the new Ultimate Spider-Man book by Hickman, which is so good. You'll see more about that in a later video. As well as we got Darth Maul and Ahsoka fighting on Mandalore. Love these figures. Love that pose. One of the best series in Star Wars Clone Wars or sagas. Then here's my DC collection. It starts with an Aquaman book, which I got from that Dollarama store, as well as, and then we go into my Batman stuff. So Batman Year One, and then all the way to Dark Victory, and then I put Batman Superman World's Finest by Mark Waid in there because it's classic stuff, and I'm trying to put the modern classic stuff where it should be because I like that way. It makes it feel more included in the series than just happening, you know. Nightfall Volume 3, got that because of Dick Grayson Batman, Ed Brubaker's Batman, Hush, War Games, Under the Red Hood, amazing Batman book. Batman Black Mirror, Scott Snyder, love it. That's a Dick Grayson book as well. Then Batman by Scott Snyder from the New 52. Love this series. These were some of my first DC books. The Red Hood and those 3 Scott Snyder books. So Court of Owls, City of Owls, and Death of the Family. Those were my first DC books. And then I was like, okay, I just needed to get more. We got Tom King's first 4 volumes. I like what I've read, but I know that because not a lot of people are fans of it, and I don't want to spend more money on it. I can read 5, 6, and 7 on Kindle, so I might do that just to figure out if I would ever pick up that omnibus. Then James Tynion's Batman with Joshua Williamson's and Zdarsky's following. I don't have the Batman Catwoman by Zdarsky book because I don't know if it's necessary for the series, and it will probably come out on Kindle. Deathstroke Inc. Volume 1 by Joshua Williamson. I like Deathstroke. I like villain stories, as you can tell. I don't know if you can tell, but I love villain stories. Then we get into my Flash collection, which I love quite a lot. Savage Velocity, which I'm going to replace with that new it's the William Mesner Loeb's omnibus. Then Flash by Mark Waid, amazing. That Grant Morrison Flash. Then Flash by Jeff Johns, Volume 6. And then more Jeff Johns stuff that leads into Flashpoint. as well as the final couple volumes of the New 52 stuff, as well as Echo and Fives, my favorite clones from the Clone Wars. And then we go down a shelf and we finish that Flash New 52 run, and then we also finish the Rebirth run, and we go all the way up to Flash Time Heist, which ends what started with the Rebirth run and leads into the Simon Spurrier run, which I have in singles. Flash by Jeremy Adams is one of those books that, I hope that is going to be talked about alongside Jeff Johns and Mark Waid's runs on Flash. I love Joshua Williamson's run on Flash, but like I said, I'm a Wally guy, so yeah. Green Arrow, Justice League by Scott Snyder, 1-3. Didn't need to read more of it, didn't really enjoy those, but I understand their importance. Justice Society of America, Volume 1 by Jeff Johns. Enjoyed that quite a lot. Can't wait for Volume 2. Then the Chuck Dixon Nightwing books. Nightwing New 52. Grayson. And then the rest of the Nightwing Rebirth run. I don't have it in the deluxe editions, but I got it in trade. So these are my least favorite comics of all time, probably. These 4 books, I do not like these 4 because that's when Dick Grayson was Rick Grayson. I don't like Rick Grayson. However, that's why people love the Tom Taylor run so much. That is a book that loves Dick Grayson. He's awesome. Robin by Williamson, amazing. Some Superman stuff. Action Comics by Philip Kennedy Johnson, which is crazy. I think everyone should read this. It's great Superman stuff. Then we got some Teen Titans stuff. So we got the Rebirth Titans and then Tom Taylor's Titans run. And then my first DC Finest book was Wonder Woman Origins and Omens. Wanted that because of the Gail Simone run. Then we got 2 Black Series figures of Hunter and Crosshair. And then we go down. We got Black Science and Deadly Class and Fear Agent. Love all those books. Of all of them, Fear Agent's probably my favorite. It's probably my second favorite Rick Remender book besides Uncanny X-Force, but I really love Black Science too. I know people are big fans of Deadly Class. I love Deadly Class, but it's not my favorite. There's Spawn. Oh, and then we get into some of the coolest books that not enough people have read. These are books a part of the Massive Verse by Kyle Higgins. These are the Radiant Black books, which are amazing. They're like, if you want more Invincible and you've read the comics and you've watched the show, get Radiant Black. It's like, it reminds me a lot of Invincible. It's so good. Then Rogue Sun, which is also amazing. Like, here's a character design for Rogue Sun, just so you're aware, and then I'll show you the characters design for Radiant Black as well. It's a bit small. But that's what he looks like. Then a necessity for any comic book collection, some form of Saga. So I got Saga, the first compendium, and I will wait for the second one whenever that comes out. Some Spawn. I'm missing Volume 2 because when I got all these books, Volume 2 wasn't out. And now I could get Volume 2, but I don't feel like it. The compendiums for The Walking Dead, which is... The Walking Dead's one of my favorite series of all time in comics, alongside Invincible and Uncanny X-Force, and so many books. I'll have to do like a favorite books list. And then we got the new Energon Universe stuff, so Void Rivals, Transformers. Void Rivals and Transformers have been my favorite so far from this universe, but I really like the Duke and Cobra Commander stuff as well. I haven't read Scarlet yet, and I still need to get the Destro book. And right here is my Women Select Rick Grimes figure. I don't need to ever get a Rick Grimes with no hand because I just pulled his hand out. What a solution. Then behind him, Bumblebee Pop. And below, we got that G.I. Joe compendium that just came out by Image. Got that today for Christmas. G.I. Joe Target Snake Eyes, and we got Storm, Shadow, and Snake Eyes in front of it. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles by IDW, 1-3, IDW collections. I've read more of this series. I've just read it on the Kindle because the Kindle has all of them, and it's cheaper this way. Batman, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the 3 volumes of that, amazing. And then we get into my IDW Transformer stuff, which I really enjoyed when I was getting them. They were some of my first comics alongside The Walking Dead, that I realized comic collecting was something I wanted to do and get into. Transformers Unicron, my official least favorite book of all time. I do not like the way that this ends all the IDW Transformers stuff, especially with how good it was. Beast Wars. Berserk by Keanu Reeves. I was sold on that because of Keanu Reeves, and then it ended up being a great story. Anyway, it was fun to read, very action-packed. My Hellboy stuff. Hellboy's one of my favorite series. Some Witcher comics, Predator vs. Wolverine, Star Wars Kylo Ren, and then Preacher by Garth Ennis, which is amazing. Sweet Tooth, and Superman Lost is just there because I didn't have room for anywhere else, and it's not canon, so I didn't know what to do with it. Then we got my Transformers Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle crossover, and then my 2 short boxes, which have a bunch of other comics. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed watching that video because it was so much fun to make. I've been waiting to make this video ever since I decided I was going to make this YouTube channel. When I started making those shorts, I knew this was a video I wanted to make, and I hope you enjoyed it. Like, share, subscribe, follow me on Instagram. Link will be in the description below. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.